Hey, it's Jazz, and this is Wildlife Matters. A lot of people are a fan of pets. I myself have my own pets. I have a dog, I have a cat, and I have a snake.
Wow.
Actually, I have many snakes. There are many reasons why it is great to keep pets. Like, for example, they teach people how to be responsible. They give you love and comfort. Pets can even be therapy pets, wherein they're good for people who are struggling with depression, with sicknesses, and even blindness. But you know, pets are living beings too, and it can be very easy for us to purchase pets without even thinking about what it means to have a real life animal under your care. So today's video is going to be all about what it means to be a responsible pet owner. And by the way, this video is in cooperation with Moreira from class grade 5TAA exhibition 2021 from Portugal. So what does it mean to be a responsible pet owner? While pets can certainly be a bundle of joy, they also come with a set of responsibilities that every pet owner should know. So here are a few things that you should have if you want to be a responsible pet owner. Number one, commitment. When adopting a pet, whether it be a snake, a dog, a cat, a hamster, a rat, a bird, you should understand that it deserves your commitment, that you are committing to take care of this pet for the rest of its life. And even though not all animals may live as long as humans do, you don't know when the day comes that their time is up. So expect that you're going to be committing to this animal for the rest of its life and even for the rest of yours. Especially when you have pets like tortoises, which can live even longer than humans. So if you're deciding to get a pet like that, well, you should consider who's going to be taking care of it even after you're gone. Or let's say you enter new stages in your life, you have to make sure that in your head, you've already established that you are going to be taking care of that pet through every stage of your life as long as it's alive. Number two, food and shelter. So this one is a no-brainer. Of course, if you're planning on getting a pet, you have to make sure that you know what kind of food and shelter it needs. That's probably the basics of getting a pet. All pets need access to clean water, food, and shelter. And not just any food, not just any shelter. And even with fish, it's not just any kind of water. So you really have to understand what kind of nutrients it needs, what kind of food it is supposed to eat and not supposed to eat, and even the type of shelter that it needs. For animals like reptiles, they need specific temperatures. They need specific amounts of space, or even pets just like dogs. There are many people who decide to get dogs and they just keep them outside. Not all dogs like to be kept outside. Some dogs prefer to live inside, like this doggy that I have here, and some dogs are okay with being outside. So you have to really study what your pet needs before you consider getting it. You have to take into consideration whether you'll be able to provide for those needs for the rest of its life. Number three, healthcare. Regular preventative care is key to having your pet live a long and healthy life. Make sure that you know a veterinarian that you can go to if ever your pet has any problems. For pets like cats and dogs, you will have to get it vaccinated so that you can prevent it from the common diseases. And you have to get those vaccines updated usually every year. So for Chewy, I just got her booster shots last week for her 5-in-1, and so did my cat Loki. And it helps that I know a lot of veterinary clinics near the area. So if ever I have an emergency or I need to get her shots updated, I know exactly where to go. It's also important that you have your yearly checkups to make sure that you are in track with your pet's health. And having a go-to veterinary clinic will also help if ever you want to know more about what your pet's feeling or know more about how to give your pet a better, healthier life. As your pet grows older, you know, with age, it's possible that some health complications may arise. So having a vet that you can go to and trust is very important. So when the time comes that your pet starts to go into those stages, at least your vet can walk you through it and help you spaying and neutering. Now this is mostly for cats and dogs. Spaying and neutering is very important, especially if you don't even plan on breeding your pets. If you don't plan on breeding, it's healthier for you to spay them and neuter them so that they don't wander off, and it also prevents the likeliness of having diseases like cancer. And this is very important because animal overpopulation is an issue that we face all over the world. You know, you see all these cats and dogs on the street, and there's just so much of them. All of them just multiplying more and more, and a lot of them ending up dying from harsh causes like being run over or getting sick on the streets or even being abused by terrible people. So spaying and neutering is something that you can practice not only with your pets but even with the cats and dogs outdoors. So there's something that me and my family have been doing for a long time now, which is we do trap, neuter, and release operations, which means we rescue these animals on the street, especially cats, because they tend to reproduce quicker, and produce more young. We take them to the vet, have them spayed or neutered, and when they're ready, we release them into the streets if no one wants to adopt them. So even if they don't find a home yet, at least they won't be reproducing again and again and again, or to the problem of overpopulation that we already have. I'm not completely saying that breeding is bad, but it's important to take note that there are a lot of breeders out there who aren't even taking care of their pets. All they do is they let their pets breed and breed and breed, and they don't even take the animal's health into consideration, and what happens is the dog ends up sick and dying. I remember one of the rescues we had was actually a dog, an English bulldog, that was left to die alone in the streets after it had no use anymore by its breeder. So what happened was this breeder just kept on, letting it give birth, just kept on breeding it and letting it give birth, and when the dog finally got sick and old, he just threw it out into the streets. And so this poor dog was rescued by us, but even if we rescued it, it was too late. It was already too sick to even survive. There are so many puppy mills out there, backyard puppy mills, and they don't even take care of the dogs that they breed. Sometimes they even breed dogs with abnormalities or genetic disorders. But as for me, I have already made a personal decision not to buy dogs with breeds because, first of all, I'm not really picky with dog breeds, and second, I just feel like there are so many dogs out on the street already, and if I were to get another dog, I would prefer to just rescue one instead of buy one from a breeder. It's just my personal preference. But if you really want to get a dog that is a purebred, make sure that you get them from responsible breeders and not from those terrible backyard breeders and puppy mills. Same goes with cats and any other kind of animal, even with snakes, for example. Make sure that if you are buying pets, you buy them responsibly from responsible pet breeders. Number 5, exercise and enrichment. This one is obviously not in shape and needs more exercise, but nevertheless, keeping our pets healthy means keeping them in good shape. Even for animals like snakes and birds, they all need ways of exercise and enrichment. And if you don't know what an enrichment activity is, basically enrichment activities are activities that you give them in order for them to practice their natural senses or their animal instincts. For example, for cats, when you get them toys like those mouse toys that they can chase, that in itself is an enrichment activity and a physical exercise because it helps them practice their ability to chase and hunt, but at the same time it also helps them exercise. For snakes, if you give them a natural setup with different branches or things that they can climb onto, that is also a physical enrichment that will help them exercise and explore the enclosure that they live in. There are many kinds of enrichment activities. There are enrichment activities that you can use to practice their senses. There are enrichment activities that you can use to make them think. You can search online, check out the different enrichment activities you can do for your specific pet, and trust me, this is something that your pet will really enjoy. I know that your pet can't talk, can't say much, but this is really something that you can do to give your pet a really awesome life. And last but not the least, love. Love is probably the most important thing when it comes to being a responsible pet owner, because if you don't love your pet, then you won't really invest much time and effort into it. Especially, there are many pets that can feel whether you love them or not. For example, my dog loves me so much and she knows that I love her. Pets are companions for life. So It's like being in a relationship, right? You can't be with someone that you don't love. You can't spend the rest of your life with someone that you don't love. So I treat my pets like my actual children. You know, when it comes to pets, it's a give and take relationship. They're not just here to give us love and comfort. We also have to do the same. And trust me, it's gonna be worth it because your pet will love you for life. Probably even more than you'll ever love them. So knowing all these responsibilities is very important, especially because these animals can't really say whether they feel neglected or they're feeling sad. I mean, sure, sometimes we know whether they're sad because dogs can cry and cats sometimes express themselves, but you know, for the most part, it's hard to tell whether your pet, whatever it is facing something. Knowing the responsibilities you have and the things that you need to give your pet in order for it to be happy is very important. So I hope that this video has helped a lot, and I hope that you'll be able to apply this if ever you're considering getting a pet or if you have a pet already. So I know this is not a wildlife video, but I think it's an important topic to talk about. So see you in the next video. Every piece of wildlife matters.